Mortgage rates just hit their highest level in over a year. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac changed the condo loan rules. Not last month, not last week, as of this morning, while you were making coffee. Gen Z has $94,000 in personal debt, and it's not from student loans. Geez, doom scroll! And homeowners who cannot afford to move are building outdoor kitchens in their front yards, and I have a lot of feelings about it. It has been a week. Welcome to Lien Report, the show where I explain real estate news despite possessing none of the qualifications traditionally associated with explaining real estate news. I'm Taylor. Let's get into it. Rates hit their highest level in over a year. The daily average 30-year fixed mortgage rate hit 6.85% at the end of last week. That is the highest it has been in over a year. 6.85. Now, I want you to sit with that number the way it is currently sitting on potential buyers' chests. Pending home sales dropped to their lowest level since early April, falling 1.7% in a single week. People saw 6.85% and did what any reasonable person would do. They closed Zillow and went back to renting. Here's how we got here. The Iran peace talks that looked promising in early July fell apart. Oil prices went up. Inflation fears went up. Deja vu, am I right? Mortgage rates went up. Your ability to afford a home is currently being held hostage by geopolitics, and there's nothing you or I or anyone can do about it except watch and suffer together. But here's the part that they're not putting in the headline. Sellers know. They know. Their agents know. Asking prices just dropped to their lowest level in a year. The median monthly housing payment actually fell to $2,575, the lowest in 3 months, because sellers are blinking first. There are also hundreds of thousands more sellers than buyers in the market right now.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
That is a negotiating leverage ratio that did not exist 2 years ago when you were losing bidding wars to people you never even met. Redfin agent Bonnie Phillips, Bonnie up in Cleveland, she said it plainly. During the pandemic, rates were lower, but every listing was a war, paying tens of thousands of dollars over asking, waiving inspections, just, praying, humming, whatever. Now, rates are higher, but bidding wars are rare, and buyers can actually negotiate prices down and get concessions. See, silver lining. The rate is real, but so is that leverage. So you just have to decide which one bothers you more. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac just changed the rules on condo loans, like today. Okay, I need to tell you something that happened today. As of August 3rd, like this morning right now, while I'm actually shooting this episode, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac officially killed the fast-track shortcut for condo mortgage approvals. It was called the limited review. Gone. Okay, yeah, because that's like the lamest title ever. What replaced it is called the full review. Come on, guys, we couldn't get pack a punch. Okay, we went from limited to full review, which means lenders now have to look at the entire condo association. Oh, I get it. Limited, full. Okay. The finances, the insurance, the reserve fund, the structural condition of the building before they will approve your loan. Not your unit, folks, the whole building. The HOA's financial decisions going back years, whether the roof has been on someone's to-do list since 2019. Why? 2 words. Surfside, Florida. The 2021 Champlain Towers collapse. That building had known structural problems and a reserve fund that was nowhere near sufficient. People bought units there without knowing any of it because the old approval process did not require lenders to look that hard. So now they look. Max Slyushar-Cook. Max S., CEO of AD Mortgage in Fort Lauderdale. Sorry, Max, bro. My last name's Rogowski. I feel ya, okay? Anyway, that dude, he told CNBC buyers should expect it to be way more difficult to buy a condo and that there will be a lot more disqualifying applications. Here's the honest truth about this. It is annoying for deals. It is good for people. A condo that fails the new review is a condo with something actually wrong in the building. The rules are just making sure you find out before you sign, not after a $28,000 special assessment notice shows up in your mailbox on a Tuesday. If you're buying a condo right now, get the HOA financials and the reserve study before you fall in love with the unit. Like, don't get in too deep. Dip the toe in, okay? Find out what the lender is about to find before the lender finds it. That's the move. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Okay. Americans are let me get into character. Americans are quietly turning to vacant land as an alternative to traditional home buying. A company called OffersTree released you know what? Y'all, we need to get more clever with these names. Okay, a company called OffersTree released a report today, and I have to say, I understand completely, okay? So, Americans are increasingly buying vacant land instead of competing for houses. And look, I get it. You've been losing bidding wars. You cannot afford what you want. None of us can. The thing you can afford needs a new roof, and the seller's acting like they invented roofing. At some point, you look at an empty field and you think, no bidding war. Look at it. No HOA. I'm going to stake my flag in the ground. No tenant calling me at midnight because the garbage disposal is making a sound. Just land. Quiet. Patient. Vacant land. I'm from the South, in case you haven't noticed. Vacant land has no tenants to manage, no building maintenance, and no appliances with personal vendettas. Depending on zoning and location, it could be used for residential development, agriculture, recreation, or renewable energy, like solar farms and wind projects. OffersTree CEO, Anusavi Tara. Anusavi Tara. OffersTree CEO. You can look them up and see who they are. Wink, wink. Put it this way. Today's buyers are looking beyond what land is being used for right now and asking what opportunities it could provide in the future, which is a sophisticated way of saying people are done competing for houses and would like to own something nobody is fighting them for. Okay? Now, the states seeing the most land interest: Texas, Florida, Arizona, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, California, Colorado, and New Mexico. The honest caveat: land still requires research, zoning, legal access, utilities, environmental conditions. It's not a passive investment, and appreciation is never guaranteed. But compared to showing up at an open house, finding out that there are 11 other offers, and losing to someone who waived everything and offered $47,000 over asking, y'all, that feel is looking pretty good. Shadow debt is quietly wrecking a generation shot at homeownership. I feel like shadow debt is like a supervillain, right? I wonder what universe it's from. Anyway, you've heard the student loan story. Gen Z cannot buy homes because of student debt. That story is real. It is also incomplete. Get this, buckle up, zoom in. Realtor.com published a piece this week on something called shadow debt. Buy now, pay later arrangements, credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, debt that builds up quietly. Never quite feels like a single scary number and then shows up all at once in a debt to income calculation when a lender looks at it and says, no, I don't think so. Here is the number. On average, Gen Z, here is the number. On average, Gen Z carries more than $94,000 in personal debt. Millennials average around $60,000, Gen X around $53,000. Gen Z, the youngest generation of working adults, carries more personal debt on average than generations who have decades longer to accumulate it. Let that breathe for a second. Plus, I didn't take a proper breath during that statement. The reason this kills mortgage applications is the debt to income ratios. See, lenders want no more than 36% of your gross monthly income going toward debt payments. If you're 24, earning an average salary and carrying $94,000 in obligations, there is no version of that math where a mortgage payment fits. The door is not locked. The math locked it. Gen Z makes up just 3% of homeowners in the United States right now. 3%. Man, this is so doomy and gloomy. The silver lining, and actually there is one, is that the Gen Z buyers who are getting in are doing it smarter than any generation before them. NAR economist Jessica Louts has noted that Gen Z is more cautious about student debt than millennials were. Let me tell you what else those millennials are doing. They are using government down payment assistance programs at higher rates than any prior generation. The ones who are buying figured out the system and used every available tool. And you know what else? I'm gonna stop here. This is not in the script. But we're kind of done. I think the younger generations are over the whole like, bootstrap, I'm gonna find a way to do it all on my own without any help. Bull honky wonk, right? It takes a village to buy a home. That's where we're at, people, okay? So this is not luck. This is people solving a structural problem they did not create with whatever tools the system left out for them. Good job, y'all. 2026 is the year the front yard became an outdoor living room. We earned this one. Here it is. Run it. Forbes covered a new report from outdoor building company Decorators. Haha, that's cute, Decorators. See, that's a good company title. Way to get punny. Anyway, Decorators, y'all, this week they had a bold declaration. 2026 is the year of the front yard. Homeowners are turning their front yards into full outdoor living rooms, seating areas, fire pits, outdoor kitchens, covered porches with hanging day beds, lighting. This is very specific. I bet this is all stuff that Decorator sells. Lighting in the front of the house where the whole neighborhood could see. Cool, cool. For years, outdoor investment went into the backyard. The front yard was for looking responsible when people drove past. A lawn, some shrubs, something that said, an adult lives here and they own a hose. The front yard was a transition. A hallway with some grass. Our grass died because we put a bouncy house in our front yard. Sorry, HOA. Not anymore apparently though, but listen, it's cool now, right? Ryan Kemp, EVP at Decorators, explained the shift. The front yard is inherently social. It connects people to their neighbors in ways that the backyard simply cannot. And then he said the thing that should sound very familiar to anyone who has been watching this show. Higher interest rates and financial pressures have led many homeowners to improve their current spaces instead of moving. There it is, the lock-in effect, which we have covered basically every week, expressed through porch furniture and fire pits. Designer Lauren Lerner out of Scottsdale, Lauren in Scottsdale, she said that when the pergola, the pavers, and the landscaping come together, the front yard stops being a transition space and starts being a destination. Oh, that's a good tagline. Honestly, good. Because rates are at a one-year high, a generation is locked out by invisible debt, and condo rules changed before breakfast. And somebody out there responded by building a seating wall, lighting it up, and introducing themselves to their neighbors. Finally. That is the most human thing I have seen in a housing market story in a long time, right? I'm Taylor. This has been Lien Report. Real estate news for everyone. See you next week. Hey, it's Taylor with Lien Report. Okay, seriously though, what do you guys think about front yard living rooms, right? I mean, I'll tell you one thing. It'd be really nice not to have to cut that grass, right? Or like keep it nice and fresh. Or like my bouncy house, it killed all the grass, but who cares? Because we put a couch on top of that bald spot in the yard. Tell me, what do you think? Give me all your facts. Yeah. Do you have an HOA? How's that gonna roll off? Can't wait to go to that meeting, right? Listen, like, comment, subscribe. Let's engage, shall we? And then hit a gold bell. I mean, are we still doing the gold bell?
It's just a normal bell, it's not necessarily gold.
You know, it's just a normal bell. I had in my mind that it was gold because it felt flashy. Anyway, it can be gold. It can be whatever you want it to be because you're stuck wherever you are, so you might as well make it pretty. So you see, I'm bringing it back to the front yard living room. All right, go get a fire pit.